Iyengar Yoga is classical Hatha Yoga, and it's just that the man, Mr. Iyengar, when he started teaching, he discovered, because of his own ailments, his own injury, he was very ill as a child and he was very weak, and he discovered that if he did things standing against a pole, or if he put a house brick into his back to open the chest, or if he lay over a chair or held onto a chair and used different things around the house, it would bring greater alignment. I'm looking that way instead of that way. It would bring greater alignment to his body and give him ease in the practice. And so that's when the beginning of props started, just using household items. And then his students started talking about him and saying to their friends, you need to go and do yoga, go and do yoga. Don't do any old yoga, go and do the yoga that Iyengar does. Do Iyengar's yoga. And hence the name came about, Iyengar Yoga. So he didn't sort of brand himself in a way, though it has become a brand because it is so popular. And what characterises it, Iyengar Yoga, and distinguishes it from other styles of yoga is the precision of the instruction that teachers give, the use of props, the duration that we hold poses for, so we don't just go into a pose and touch into it and come out of it. It takes time for the body to adapt and for the organs and for the muscles to receive what the pose is giving, so we stay for a little longer, or we repeat the poses over and over. So typically classes are longer for that reason. And also the way we put a class or a practice together, the sequencing. So we don't do a pose in any we don't do put sequences together in any fashion. There are different rules and guidelines as to what poses come before other poses, such that at the end of the class you feel soothed and quiet and rejuvenated and restored, no matter how difficult or how advanced the pose was, or the poses were that you were doing, how strong the class was.
Shayna's fantastic. She's got an extreme knowledge and a great depth of experience. So you know that what she's saying is from her own practice and her own experience and her own learning, and she's constantly learning too and bringing that learning to the class. So you feel very safe in her hands and forever learning new things. So yeah, she's fantastic.
I've probably been doing yoga on and off for about 10 or 12, maybe 15 years, sort of with different forms of yoga. And I probably came to that because I've always enjoyed doing physical stuff, sport, surfing, all those kinds of things in the background. So I really value my physical health, I guess. And then in recent years, I've sort of been doing regular Hatha yoga for probably about 3 years, really intensely. And then I sort of came across this form of Iyengar Yoga, probably really only about 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. And for me, it just takes it into just a much more intense level. And it's like holding a magnifying glass up to your muscles and your fibres and your tendons, and you really get to know your body really intensely. So I thought I knew my body pretty well, but I'm really learning a whole lot more.
This particular form of yoga puts me right inside my body, and the level of instruction and the detailed instruction keeps me present to what's going on, and in a way that I haven't found before, which is, I think quite extraordinary. And I'd have to say both teachers, but Shayna, I suppose more, because I'm now working in her classes, extraordinary teaching and able to deal with what comes up. I'm a bit of a weeper when things, body memory is held in here, and when I'm doing particular asana, it triggers tears for me, or all sorts of strange responses, but she's able to encourage me through that rather than getting caught up in all of that and going off and thinking, oh, this is all terrible too. You just move through it. The body, the asanas move you through it. The teaching moves you through it. I know I'm going to encounter my fears. I know I'm going to encounter all my stuff, but the space is held in a very disciplined way so that it doesn't run away with me.
Iyengar has a good discipline behind it, so there's a real structure to it and real understanding of how your body works. So it's not just about relaxation, it's about really getting to know your body and your mind together. So I really enjoyed the discipline of it.